Psychology says people who have no friends are often misunderstood, not broken, not antisocial, and not failures, yet society treats solitude like a defect, as if being alone automatically means being lonely. But research shows something quieter and deeper happening beneath the surface, because some people don't lack friends, they lack tolerance for shallow connection. And once you see this shift, everything you thought about isolation starts to feel incomplete. The truth is, having few or no friends is not always a social problem. It is often a psychological pattern shaped by self-awareness, emotional regulation, and cognitive depth. And while this lifestyle looks empty from the outside, your brain may actually be protecting energy, filtering noise, and prioritizing meaning over numbers. One rare trait psychology often finds here is heightened self-awareness, because when you spend time alone, your brain turns inward instead of outward. And research on metacognition shows that people who self-reflect deeply become more conscious of their emotions, triggers, and values, which makes small talk feel draining and surface friendships feel misaligned. So you may step back not because you cannot connect, but because you refuse to perform a version of yourself that feels false. Another trait is low tolerance for emotional inconsistency, because psychology says your nervous system learns safety through predictability, and when people send mixed signals, drain energy, or violate boundaries, your brain flags them as cognitive stressors. So instead of chasing connection, you choose peace, and this is often mistaken for coldness, when in reality, it is emotional intelligence protecting limited mental bandwidth. A third trait is an unusually strong internal reward system, because research shows some people generate dopamine from mastery, curiosity, and inner progress rather than social validation. So while others need frequent interaction to feel alive, your brain feels stimulated by learning, thinking, and solitude, which makes friendships optional rather than necessary, and that independence can look like isolation to people who rely on external affirmation. The fourth trait is hyperselective empathy, because psychology says empathy without boundaries leads to burnout, and people with few friends often feel deeply, but cautiously. They sense emotional undercurrents quickly and avoid environments that demand constant emotional labor. So they may withdraw not due to lack of care, but because caring too much without reciprocity exhausts the nervous system. The final trait is future-oriented thinking, because research on delayed gratification shows some brains prioritize long-term alignment over short-term comfort, and friendships that don't match your direction, values, or growth trajectory feel heavy instead of supportive. So your brain chooses temporary solitude over permanent misalignment, trusting that meaningful connection will come later. So when you look at people with few or no friends, psychology doesn't see deficiency. It sees filtration, introspection, and self-regulation at work, because your brain is not rejecting connection, it is waiting for resonance, and that patience often feels lonely before it feels right. If this resonated, your psychology is not broken, it is selective. And if you want more videos that decode misunderstood human behaviors with calm clarity, subscribe here and share this with someone who has ever felt judged for choosing depth over crowds.